Business entrepreneurship is what this country was built upon, but the road can often be filled with unexpected detours, roadblocks, and even dead ends. Here in Tampa Bay is a local nonprofit that was founded in 2008 as just a meetup group for local tech entrepreneurs. Tampa Bay Wave is a 501c3 that supports 100 startups a year and is trying to make Tampa Bay a nationally recognized tech hub. And I am joined by President and CEO, Ms. Linda Olson. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ms. Linda, can you tell me a little bit about Tampa Bay Wave and the mission and why it's so important to our local communities?
Sure. Well, at the heart of our mission is really about driving opportunity and prosperity right here in our community. We do that by helping local tech entrepreneurs build thriving, scalable, big businesses here. And the more of them that can survive, the bigger our tech community can be here. And why does that matter? Because tech companies create high-wage jobs, lots of them, and they tend to be recession-proof too. If we can build the next Facebook, the next Uber, the next Google right here in Tampa Bay, we can have lots of jobs. And certainly with the unemployment situation we have going on right now, jobs is a big topic these days.
Absolutely. And speaking of jobs and unemployment, much of which has been caused by COVID, what has been that impact that COVID has played on the tech community and for the startup community?
Yeah, well, we certainly had some companies that were definitely negatively impacted by COVID. Almost overnight, some of their markets just evaporated, especially those startups like in hospitality. But we also had other companies that really benefited, and I hate to say that because of COVID, but they found new markets and new applications for their technology. And in some cases, their technology was nice to have, and now it's necessary because of COVID. Right. We had one founder, entrepreneur, who was a veteran, and he started a business a little over a year ago to help get prescription drugs delivered to his home in a more timely manner, right? So it's called MedZoomer. It's great. But he was really only getting traction with locally owned pharmacies, the smaller ones, until COVID hit. Now he's got national companies reaching out to him because they see his service is now necessary.
Yeah. And being at the times that we're living in today, obviously equality and diversity is a huge topic.
Every great journey
just going on the website, you guys are on the forefront of making sure that you're educating businesses. That diversity is a key component. Speak to those businesses. How important do you see diversity playing
Thankfully, we live in a time where we've got the internet and there's a lot of resources
in a positive way
available to help you get educated. I'm rambling on. Well, we've been running our diversity-themed programs for over 3 years now, so it's not just a
when you speak to the financial resources,
the topic of the day, so to speak.
Again,
right?
The statistics
You've been
kind
a long
of show
believer,
that
a long time believer that you need representation of diverse founders. It helps companies build better businesses when they have diverse management teams. They can think about the diverse customers that they serve better, right? So it makes stronger companies. There's data out there that shows diverse teams
funding sources out there that are emerging.
Your peers that are not diverse.
They've been out there a few years.
So it makes actually good business, right?
But
it's also more than just a social good. I think there's also an economic imperative that's going on in this country. If we have more people participating in the economy,
and other groups
right? It helps lift all boats. We all grow the economy. And by the way, those folks who come from those underrepresented groups take those benefits back to the communities they come from, so it has a ripple effect.
Absolutely. So someone is starting their new business. They need funds to get started. How do they reach out to you? How do they contact you to get that help that they need to push them forward?
Our website right now is tampabaywave.org. We are taking applications right now for our women-themed accelerator program. So if anybody out there knows of a woman working on a business, particularly if it has a tech angle, we would encourage them to reach out to us. But anyone can reach out.
As we continue our conversation with Ms. Linda Olson, I wanted to ask you, Linda, these times everyone is looking for a platform. And this show is geared towards giving people a platform to kind of encourage our community to come together. And when you're starting businesses, as you've said, it helps the community regardless of your race, religion, or your sex. So in speaking to that, what would you say to a black man who wants to start a business but I don't have the financial resources. We know that it's difficult. What would you say to that man?
Well, every great journey begins with one step, right? So there's lots of different paths to success. If you've got a dream, there are people and resources out there. Thankfully, we live in the time where we've got the internet, and there's a lot of resources available to help you get educated. I'm rambling on. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
No.
But when you speak to the financial resources, that again, the statistics kind of show that it's difficult for Black founders as well as some other groups out there, right?
Yeah.
So that's why organizations like Tampa Bay Wave came together, because at the end of the day, we want to help solve some of those problems. The other thing I would say is there are certain funding sources out there that are emerging. They've been out there a few years, but I think we're going to see more of them in years to come that are really niche type of funding solutions for either Black founders, women founders, Latinx founders, and other groups like that.
When we speak about tech, I feel that, and I'm not a tech guy, but I do know that everybody has their own lane. I also recognize that in successful businesses, you usually don't start by yourself, and you kind of connect. Would you encourage entrepreneurs to try to find like-minded people to kind of join, opposed to kind of creating their own niche? How has that experience been for you? Is it positive to utilize resources and combine companies to achieve the ultimate goal?
I would go as far as say it's critical. I've never seen anyone really be a self-made success without really having help along the way, right? And it's actually great when you can collaborate with other entrepreneurs, even if they're not other tech entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter, because everybody out there, when I say tech entrepreneur, I'm really saying entrepreneurs. And when I say entrepreneurs, I'm really talking about people who are solving problems, right? And sometimes you can find ways to solve problems that are affecting lots of people and build a business on top of that. But when you build a community, in a lot of ways, that's what Tampa Bay Wave was trying to do first, was build a community for entrepreneurs where you can't be in the game without wanting to help others. We always kind of talk about it like stepping on rakes. Once you step on a rake, you want to tell everybody where that rake is so they don't step on it too, right? So being around like-minded, supportive people, I think, is critical for not just increasing your odds of success, but accelerating your path to get there.
Yeah. For young kids, tech is this new thing. There a lot of jobs are becoming available. The pay is very, very good. For students who are out there trying to start businesses as early as 1 year out of college, some young people are fortunate enough to start businesses while they're in college. How important is the education of tech, or when should that really start? When should parents start kind of pushing their kids to learn technology so that they can flourish when that time comes?
So, we've seen kids from high school spend weeks in their summer at our venture center in downtown Tampa, who were able to put together some kind of business and actually make some money off of it before the summer ended, right? So I don't know if age really defines who you are. What I would say is the earlier you get into the game, whether it's you want to be on the developer side, but these are tech businesses, they need business skills too, right? So, honestly, repeat serial entrepreneurs do better the more times they go at bat, right? So start early, experiment, get smarter, get to know other people that have the skill sets that you don't have, right? Because when you do have that billion-dollar idea, you want to know who your A team is and be able to assemble them quickly, right?
Off topic, completely off topic, and this will be my last question. A lot of things are going on in the world today, and we look to our leaders to lead us vocally, lead us by their actions to heal a community. As a community member who thrives to build businesses, What is your take on where we stand in the world today, and what needs to happen for kind of like the turmoil to kind of cease from your perspective?
Well, if I knew the answer to world peace, I'd probably have a different job. But I would tell you, I've never been more hopeful for the future, because I feel like we're witnessing this seismic shift that's happening, a great awakening, if you will, in the country. Personally, as a white person, I hear more of my white friends talk about the fact that they're recognizing the white privilege that they have, right? So, I think with in my role, I can't solve everything. I can do my part. I can try to raise my girls to be more aware, but I also think there's a role that I can play with my organization, because if I can help, whether it's the Black community or other members of this, of our community, have access to the resources they need to reach financial independence of some sort, I think that can also contribute to the healing that this country needs.
Well, thank you for what you do for our community. Much luck in your continued success, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.